Good morning, this is totally random.
Featuring Franz Maruna and Andrew Embler.
Hello, welcome to Totally Random on Friday, the Friday-ish. And I'm Franz, this is Andy. This is your weekly news and chit-chat update show about Concrete5. Let's jump right into it. First, I will tell you, if you have a question, if you'd like us to tell you how we would do something, you should be thinking of that and posting into the chat room now. That way when we get to the how would you do that part of the show, we won't be sitting here waiting for someone to think of what to ask us to do.
So many uncomfortable silences.
Yeah, so if you've got a question, we'd love to answer it. So go ahead and ask it now. Matt can always scroll up and find it later. In news, big news is we are going into alpha for 5.6, right?
Yep.
Beta's wrapping up, we're going into alpha. So that means no new code or ideas. We're just fixing bugs. And there you go. And that's soon, right?
Yeah. As far as I know, with our schedule, we're looking at alpha concluding at the end of next week.
Okay.
According to that calendar over there, and so at that point, we will be completely done with all pull requests that aren't resolving bugs that we have seen unfold throughout this 5.6 process, and we're getting down to the wire on the pull requests too.
Down the wire, yeah.
Probably no.
So if you're expecting something that you're working on to be in 5.6, you're probably late and you need to get it in.
Yeah, in like the next 2 days.
Yeah, well, we're not going to.
By the end of this
There's only
weekend.
so much time in the day.
Yeah.
And poor old Andy. He's got cold, going through get requests. Give him a break. So get it in there. We appreciate all the work, but yeah, with beta alpha, at some point you got to call it quits so you can actually fix the bugs.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably do an actual, here's something you can download to officially test as a beta by the end of next week. So
5.6a.
Yeah, 5.6b beta 1 or something, and then we'll
2.
Yeah, just so that we can, have something to work toward that's not, in Git that people can actually test on their sites as though we're a finished product.
In the real world.
Yes.
So that's big news. In other news, Julia has been sending out hundreds of sticker envelopes this week and last. So if you've asked us for stickers in the past and have been eagerly awaiting, wondering why your stickers have not arrived in the mail, fear not, they are now in the mail and will be arriving shortly. We are unable to mail the stickers to Fred or Joe at hotmail.com, mostly because it's impossible to physically mail things to names and email addresses. So as always, I'll remind you, if you're interested in free stickers of the Concrete5 nature, we'll happily send you some. All you have to do is put your mailing address into the form on the bottom of our swag page. Yeah, it's right there at the bottom. There's the form. A mailing address usually has your name, like a number. There's often like a state and a country.
There is some sort of larger provincial area.
Something like that, depending on where you live. There's frequently some type of number at the end, postal code, a zip code, something that they use in order to actually bring the stickers
where it is
to your home. These are real stickers. So if you'd like some, just put your address in there. And
Fake Street.
Yeah, we'll mail them to Fake Street. I don't care.
So many sticker deliveries to Fake Street.
Keep coming back. Yeah, and then we'll burn your address. We're not going to, send you a Publishers Clearinghouse mail so we can get rich. So we will happily respect your privacy, burn your address, and sleep comfortably knowing that stickers are arriving at your door. So in that vein, I think we're ready to do some karma. Let's do the karma machine.
Awesome
stuff.
And the weekly karma winners, come on down.
Karma. Oh, Hostco. I thought that he was a more senior developer than that. No?
He has his youth.
This must be brilliant. What do you think, Matt? Is this a picture that we received?
Yes, this is Hostco's child.
Nice.
With a Concrete5 sticker.
Way to go for procreation, Hostco. That's a cute looking kid.
All right.
We got a nice sticker, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Shall we see if the karma machine has run?
Yes, let's see if it has. I believe it has. And it did.
Sweet.
We got John the Fish winning a copy of the Dojo Folio Slider for helping.
Doesn't surprise me, he's very helpful.
Yep.
We got 12345J with a copy of the front end file uploader for doing promotion.
Sweet.
And John the Fish wins again.
Ooh, John.
He also got a
Oh.
copy of the front end file uploader for doing work.
Raking it in. Nice work, John. And thank you, 5Jazz, as well. So, yes, as always, thank you for all the work that you're doing in the community, be it helping people, promoting the project, or submitting all the code to Git that Andy is reviewing. It's all very important, and concrete5 would, well, it'd be little commercial software that a couple dozen clients in Portland use, so it wasn't for all of you. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Forging right ahead through Totally Random this week, I think it's time for us to see if Greg Joyce has made any great choices.
Let's do it.
Let's check
And
it.
now it's time for the peer review bar.
Featuring new themes and add-ons.
Introducing Great Choice by Greg Joyce.
All right, let's go.
Hey Greg, where are you checking in from today?
Well, checking in from right behind you, I guess.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm deciding which one of these wonderful glasses that were mailed to us by the illustrious Chad Strat I'm going to enjoy a frosty beverage out of later.
Those are some frosty, delicious looking glasses, man.
And
That's
a pretty
hard
snazzy
choice.
logo on them, I must say.
I like the snazzy logo. Tough choices, tough choices. Well, did you make any other choices in the last couple weeks, Greg?
Oh boy, there's been a lot of choices made, particularly in the PRB.
Sweet.
Some other ones we were not going to get into.
Well, let's focus on those PRB choices.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Look, we got a theme.
So this first one is a free cookies disclosure by Manio, and this one lets you decide if you want to allow the EU cookies law, or privacy biscuits, as they're known in the UK. If you want to permit cookies on your site or not, it lets you use, choose, and this is a free add-on.
Great. Yeah, that's
That's
excellent.
All right. Next up, we have Tomowak 5 Form Backup by Tomowak. And this is an interesting add-on because you can back up this Tomowak form block specifically with this add-on, and then after you've uninstalled it or something, you can restore this one block using this add-on.
So this is, just to be clear, this is a third-party form block that you can download through the marketplace, and this thing actually backs it
It's
up.
an add-on to the add-on.
Okay.
Add-on to an add-on. I see.
Yep.
Wheels and wheels.
And this one here is the Icon Interactive menu by JB1, and the still screenshot does not like capture the jazziness of this add-on, because the MRI thing there, like usually it pops in and there's a lot of motion and color changes involved. It's really pretty cool.
Nice.
What does it do?
It, like, the icon comes in and the text comes up under it. It's like the THX logo almost.
So this is okay. So check out the demo.
Yeah, check out the
Awesome.
demo for this one.
That sounds appetizing.
Next up, we have the Bootstrap Carousel by Host Co. And it's another slider. This one uses the Bootstrap library.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Never had to.
Yeah, we always need more sliders.
Yes, keep those sliders coming. My God, I wouldn't want to run low on those.
Alright, and the next is Urban Theme by Formigo. And
Yeah, it's pretty.
this is a responsive theme, and it's got some kind of accented colors. It's not a bad theme.
Yeah, that's good.
Long exposure photography.
Next is another one by JB1 this week, and this is called Gradient and Shadow on Anything, and pretty much it lets you shadow up any block on your page.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shadowing on up.
So how does it do that?
You put in like a class or something.
Right,
Wow.
I'm guessing, I think probably the way this works, I don't think I personally approved this one, but I think it probably works similar to some of the John the Fish's blocks that work with other blocks. So I imagine you add it to your page, and then whichever block
I
comes
see.
after it gets
Oh,
the
Okay. Sure.
Interesting. Yeah,
styling.
that could work.
Cool.
Yes. This next one is the Webley Toolbar by P. Vernaglia. And it lets you put bookmarks all over your toolbar. So,
All right, that's something you can do. That looks like a 5.4, isn't it? No.
No.
Huh. All right.
It does because there's the
There's a bunch of stuff in the book. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
yeah. And the next one is by John the Fish, and this is another kind of developer-centric. Oh no! Next one looks like it's actually publication link
Yes.
by Labor.
Ah.
And it lets you put a link to a reference on your site. This is Labor is interesting because he seems to be focused on these. It actually might be Labor B. I think this is short for like Labor Bureau.
Labor B.
I think
That
they're
sounds better than
German.
Labor, but it sounds like Jordy LaForge after
what I-
a Borg episode.
Laborg.
That would be cool.
Jordy Laborg.
Resistance is futile.
Okay. But yeah, they tend to focus on like kind of purpose-driven, like really specific kind of add-ons. So this is another one that's like that.
It's handy.
All right. Okay, and now we have import users by. I've lost my my thread here. All right, this is import users, and I believe this is by Jay Shannon.
No, it's Lerteco.
Oh yeah, no, Jay Shannon brings all of this stuff, Lerteco.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so this is Lerteco User Importer Pro by Jay Shannon. And this lets you take a CSV and then you can just drag and drop the columns of the CSV into the user information and attributes.
That's
It's
pretty
really
impressive.
cool.
That's pretty
It's
awesome.
cool. Yeah,
That works, huh?
and it works.
That's
That's
awesome.
pretty impressive.
That's why it's approved.
Nice. Oh, I like the way you're making choices there. Greg. That's good thinking.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, here's another theme called Fuel View, and it's by C5 Labs, and it's a like a backstretch based
Yep.
theme
Full
with
photo background.
I'm a sucker
with
for
the
those.
transparent kind of background on
Sure.
your content wells.
Love it. Whole web should
that
look like
kind of
that.
thing. And next.
That's the
That's
end
it.
of the stuff
Oh,
that I
that's all
have.
the,
for you
that's all
guys.
the
Made
stuff
it.
we have pictures of? Alright, well, I'll talk about some other stuff then. 'Cause there's also the quick log view by John the Fish that you should check out if you're a developer. It lets you put a block on your page and you can click that and it'll pop in like the last like couple of log entries. So if you're trying to develop a block that's leaving log information, you don't have to jump back and forth between your logs page and your page that you're working on. Another one is Meetings by Chad Strat, and it's a add-on that lets you schedule one-off or consecutive meetings. It's pretty complicated. And then there's also Day Marquee by Day Vision, and it's bringing scrolling back to the browser. So you can
Oh, it's up. I
have
saw it earlier.
text that moves back and forth or up and down, and you can actually use any HTML tags you want in that scrolling text.
Cool.
And that's it for me.
Nice. Great choices, Greg. Choices. I think that you're bound to win with that frosty beverage choice as well. So
It's hard to go wrong.
good work.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough wait. All
Good
right.
work. All right, let's go have some fun in the forums.
Introducing Fun in the Forums!
All right, so there's only one thread to chat about in Phone Forums today, and that's this discussion and chit chat about internationalization. Matt can show you with a simple stroke of his mouse that this is a lengthy one that you should get involved in if you're interested in internationalization in concrete5. There's some chit chat around it, yeah.
That's good.
You know, to summarize, the way concrete5 works, if you want to run it in a different language, you can do that. You need this MO and PO file kind of deal. And what it is one of them is basically just a list of strings in a different language. Strings are like short bits of text. So we kind of abstract out all the text that we use in concrete5. So, you know, if there's dashboard, that little word, that goes and looks in this file for what is dashboard in German. Dust Osborne. And so what, the MO one is the generated one, the PO is the, which one's compiled?
Okay, so when we do a new build of Concrete5, a new major release, we run a little command line program that goes through the code, generates all those strings, and that generates a PO file. So that's the one that editors can look at.
Right.
You can open it in a text editor if you're so inclined, but there are, you know, nicer GUI editors that can parse it.
Right.
And show you only strings that haven't been translated, for example. And then you run a command to compile it down to the MO file.
Yep.
And that file is actually what has to be present in the file system and pointed to in your config file for Concrete5.
I think Concrete5 will work in German.
Yeah.
So that has existed
For a long time.
for a long, long time. And we used to just manage those with Subversion, the same
Yeah.
way we used to manage our code, and no one liked that.
Yeah, it took a long time. It was very much top down, and we didn't like that.
We've thought about building tools into concrete5.org itself to let people do translation. It's starting to look like one of those why would we rebuild the wheel kind of problems. A lot of
Yeah.
work, not a lot of benefit. People are complaining that the current tool, not complaining, it's probably too, no, they're complaining.
Yeah.
MyGenco,
My Django.
MyGenco or something like that.
Yeah, Minkris
No one likes it.
alerted me to this about a year and a half ago, and had already started putting stuff up there. And you know, we knew that the Subversion approach wasn't that great, so we just said, you know what, let's switch to this. People seem happy with it.
Yeah. And it's a site that manages the MOPO files for us.
Yes,
So
so
someone
it-
like me could go and just start translating stuff if I spoke another language.
Yeah, so what we do is we upload new versions of the files as we generate new strings, and it merges them with the old ones, so that, you know, if we introduce 200 new strings in 5.6, those show up as untranslated, but all the old ones stay. It's a one spot for people to download. And you know, it has been a success in that when we started, I think we had like 8 languages, and now we have over 20, maybe 30 at this point, in various levels of completion. But it has shown signs that it does not scale well. It's pretty slow. It has some known bugs that
Don't seem to be getting fixed.
Yeah.
People don't like it for, I don't know, whatever reasons they
Yeah.
are slowly begrudgingly sharing in that thread.
Yes.
And so people are saying, well, we should use something else. And we're perfectly happy to do that.
Yeah.
From our perspective, we would love Concrete5 to be available in every language under the sun.
Yeah.
Farsi, I don't care. It should
Yeah,
be in everything.
absolutely.
And we would love to have it as part of the install process. So you could pick from a drop down of languages available. And I don't think we probably want to include all those files in the standard distribution, but I could see some way to go grab a service that we would offer. These are the current approved ones. Like, yeah, that sounds great. You should be able to pick a language on install. We're not going to be building a tool to manage the MOPO files on concrete5.org anytime in the near future. Anything's possible in the big picture, but that's just not something we're doing this year or next, probably. So we're going to move to some other service beyond MyGenco to kind of manage these MOPO files and make it easy for anyone to collaborate on the actual work of internationalizing the interface. That's great. I think there's probably dozens of different sites that take stabs at doing this. It'd be really awesome if anyone that had an interest in helping
maybe
or
even
interest
experience with
perhaps
using
experience
these
with doing this could maybe chime in with this is why I like that, that's why I like this, what about these requirements. Right now this thread is filled with strong likes and dislikes and not a lot of kind of granular specific requirements.
Yeah.
So that's cool and all, but you know, I don't like waking up in the morning. I still do it. If we could maybe think a little bit about like why MyGenco is bad and what these other things would do.
Yeah, how do they solve the problems of MyDjango? Would you say that we are committed to not running I saw something come up. Someone suggested that we download. There are some of these things that are
Run it ourselves.
services, but we would have to run them ourselves.
I mean, that's possible is highly unlikely. You can run Git yourself too. We happily use GitHub.
Yeah.
I'd be much more inclined to pay a couple $100 a month. I don't care to have someone else run it and have it up there. I'm not worried about my data disappearing. I'll take it back up.
And there are some that are commercially backed, but are free for open source too. So
Well,
make sure that if that
yeah.
comes up as a
Yeah, I've tried to say that in the thread. No one seems to really care. The price should not be a big deal unless it's like thousands of dollars a month. I'm perfectly happy to foot the bill on the thing. It's going to make everyone happy, and it's good. The leader
Transifex,
whatever, it seems to not cost anything for open source projects anyway, so it's a non-issue. But again, if anyone has any expertise on this or wants to chime in with, oh, don't use transifex, use something.
Yeah.
I mean, to give you a sense as to how this is going, there is a product called, I'm not even joking, Damned Lies, that seems to be seriously in the contention for being a solution here. So, really?
Maybe it
Please.
translates to something else. Maybe that's a product of
some
the
internal, like, yeah, that's got to be like the Pepsi drink blood of your ancestors joke. You know that joke, right?
I do,
Pepsi
yeah.
one, yeah. Okay.
Why isn't this selling?
Anyway, there's that. That's the fun of the forums. Let's talk about get.
Let's do it.
What did we get in get?
Just so fast. Alright, you've been battling get.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
have you been getting?
Oh, tons of stuff. Just as for the edification of our community, we have gone from over 60 pull requests, I believe, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, to under 10.
Wow,
today.
nice, under 10.
Yeah,
That's
and some of those are, and one of them is outstanding because we just need to make it's a fairly wholesale edition feature-wise. We just make sure that it works perfectly. But there are other things that we can definitely get in there too. So there's, as you might imagine, there's a lot of stuff that I could highlight. So I'm going to highlight 3 different things. I'm not totally sure that Matt will be able to get them on screen because they're closed and there's a lot of closed issues in there. But just off the top of my head, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was a pull request that had been sitting in there for actually 2 pull requests that have been sitting in there for about 9 months. One is, although to be fair, it just had communication stop on it about a month ago, so it's been actively discussed for a while. This one is from Patrick Heck, and it basically, what we were just talking about with localization, you can have concrete5 in a different language, but up till now, if you ran it in Spanish, say, anytime you use dates or anything like that, they would be in English.
No.
Just due to the way that it did not.
Sure.
Yeah. So what this did was actually integrate Zen locale for dates. Actually, no, sorry, Zend date for dates, and which works with our translation layer. So now dates and times and things of that nature will be translated in concrete5 as well.
Nice.
And that was nice. And that actually even involves a pull or a patch he made to the Zend framework itself.
Wow.
He submitted it back to them because he found bugs there.
So
So
there you
that's
go.
very awesome.
That's excellent work.
And also with that was Jordan Lev pull requests that have been in there for a long time. This was the subject of much discussion in the forums as well. It adds the ability, anytime you specify JavaScript or CSS, it adds the ability to specify what thing you're loading as a handle and what version, and then behind the scenes we will only include the most recent version of that library. So this came up because people would have multiple blocks on a page or multiple add-ons in their site that use a library like FancyBox JavaScript, and they would get included twice and cause problems. And this aims to, it's totally backward compatible, developers can opt into this. It will it'll keep that stuff straight. So sort of, not really versioning, but sort of deployment strategy for scripts on it.
A little cleanup.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so that's very nice. Also, from Garrigan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. This pull request came in out of the blue. It was perfect. Very, pretty extensive. He added proxy server support for any time concrete5 communicates off the server.
Nice.
So this is through curl, when we connect to the marketplace, that kind of stuff. If your server needs to use a proxy server to do those outbound requests, he's added a system and settings screen for that and modified all curl requests to go through that. So
Great.
It's very nice.
And you like that one because of the attention to detail?
Yeah, definite attention to
help
detail.
text.
It came with help text. The actual system and settings screen was all formatted Bootstrap style, looked nice. Looked like he got all the curl requests throughout the code base to use this new stuff. Even stuff I'm not even sure we're using anymore. He clearly looked for all curl instances. Yeah, just he got it on install and upgrade. So the upgrade script, which we don't even tell people how to modify, and it's pretty hairy in there.
That's
you don't
awesome.
know.
That's awesome.
So
I mean, that last 20%.
Yeah.
Always a nightmare. So
it was nice.
Great when other people are worried.
That was very nice. And then finally, from Dan Klassen, we got 2. One, he added the ability to, and this is funny because we had talked about doing this, but I could not find our commit that did this, but thankfully he did a pull request on it. he added the ability to, when you're specifying an email address in the form block, actually use a checkbox to say this is the email address that should be the reply to when the form comes to me, so that you can actually reply back to them.
Years.
You know, and at first glance it seems like, duh, you should be able to figure this out, but actually it's a harder problem.
Yeah.
It's more involved than anything. So that was very nice. And he also added a user profile option to use Gravatar avatars for your user avatar if someone has not uploaded a concrete5 one. So if you wanted to make your site use user avatars, but not necessarily force your users to upload one, that'll get you some
avatars, the little blocky ones.
Yeah,
very cool.
And there's tons more.
60 more.
Yeah, tons more. So
well, thank you.
They'll all be all the bug fixes and feature updates. Those will be credited in the release notes.
Yeah, there'll be a huge section of the release notes in on our site, thanking everybody that has submitted anything, and we'll put your profile name in there, as we always do with these releases.
Yeah.
So, thank you. It's exciting to go through this stuff and see so much coming together so quickly.
Oh yeah.
To get to a release.
Yeah.
We're ready for doing. How would you do that?
How would we do that?
How would we? Are there any questions before we do our? This is what we would do. Any questions?
This is how we do.
I haven't seen any questions come into the chat, but this is your chance to post them. So go ahead and post them in the chat window. I will watch for your questions, and we'll try to loop back around and pick them up as we go here. So.
All right. Well, given that, then we'll just tell you about something that we already decided how we would do that.
Yeah.
This one is brilliant. Another great choice from Greg Joyce. Something that I had never thought of doing. There are times in concrete5 where you just want to build a menu that doesn't really use the main site hierarchy. As you probably know, everything in concrete5 is part of a tree. It makes a lot of sense, makes it easier for dealing with permissions and that kind of thing. But there are times when your website isn't really a tree and you just want perhaps a main nav or a little did you also know footer nav or something that just links to a few specific pages. I've always dealt with that by just using a content block or an HTML block and just linking to them and just pay, it doesn't. It's still a navigation, even if it isn't in a block that has nav in the label.
Yeah, totally.
And that has worked fine. You can stick a content block in a global area or build a stack with it and treat just HTML or content as a nav. Greg wrote up this how-to of, hey, if you want, excuse me, you could make a placeholder page in your sitemap. Hide that page by turning on a few custom attributes like exclude from nav and whatnot. And then drag any pages that you want in your navigation over into there with your sitemap. And when you do so, you're given the choice of do you want to move, copy, or alias your page. Aliasing the page does what it sounds like. It makes a reference to that page in the new spot that you're making it, but it doesn't actually move the page. So, if you've got like a legal section buried way down under about, you want to make an alias to that off of your home so it shows up somewhere. Make the alias. If I follow the alias, it's going to take me down into that part of the tree. That's not like a copy of the page. But you've got a nice way to kind of manage all these pages together.
Yeah.
So now you can use the pageless nav or the auto nav, and you can just point it to specifically be another page. Find pages beneath another page. Choose that placeholder page that you made, and voila. You have a custom navigation that has only the things that you want. You can create a whole little tree that is different, and you're basically kind of built like your own little multiple nav tree manager thing with the tools that exist inside of concrete5 today.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Absolutely brilliant. So there you go. That's how. It's not how I would have done it.
No,
but, I'm happy to say that's how Greg
I've never thought of doing that either.
Yeah, but I will now. So great choice again, Greg Joyce, and that's how we would do it. Anything else? What else?
Yeah, we got two questions. One from John the Fish. He asks, when adding a new template to a block, is there a way to add edit options specific to the new template?
No, that's not really how they work. If they have different options, there really should be they'd just really be a separate block.
Or just have the options in the block all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we've built blocks, we've wrapped some of the options that you might put in a custom template just kind of in the block.
Just so they don't necessarily apply to the regular template.
Yeah.
But no, there's no way to release a custom template for something later that also pulls on
Has options, yeah.
Alright, cool. Got one from MadCoder42. They ask, how do you get a page list to dynamically list pure pages without knowing the page's parent ahead of time?
Peer, like, that sounds like you want to do the AutoNav.
Yeah.
The AutoNav can show pages at my current level.
Check out the AutoNav.
And if you want it to have some of the presentation of the page list, then you probably want to just use a custom template, because at their core they're both the same in terms of they're both just arrays of pages. One just presents data slightly differently and gives you different options in the block. But yeah, I would check out the AutoNav.
Alright, John Fitch comes back with a clarification. He says, how about when adding a template to someone else's block?
No, the custom templates do not override the block edit interface.
No, they are just view layers.
Just view layers. That's the model view controller. It's just the view.
Alright.
To do more, make a new block.
Any other questions? Get them in there.
Brains are firing on all cylinders.
All right. Well, given that, and our desire to get back to work, and my continued desire to not just sit here in silence at the end of the video show, I'm gonna pull the plug. So again, I will thank you all for everything that you're doing, and I feel like we'll be back here next week. I
think so.
I think there's anything that we're barring additional summer adventures.
Is there a question?
Yeah, there's one more from John
State
Fish.
country
It looks
list
like
editable by a site manager from the dashboard. Make a.
This is a pull request that I denied.
No. You can't.
It's an end run. No. I didn't think that it was necessary to stick the states and the countries in a config value, because I didn't really want to bloat the config table.
No, it seems like a bit much.
However, another pull request that I did pull in was now the countries are also localized in whatever language you're running this in.
Oh,
So if that was one of the concerns, I don't think you necessarily need to edit the countries. Also, if you do need to, in 5.6, if you do need to modify the either the state, provinces, or the countries lists, the helpers themselves are, you have to work with code, but you can override them without having to fork them entirely.
So, make a new custom.
Yeah.
All right. Back to work, all. See you next week.
Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time.